We're live on TikTok.
Glorious, glorious.
People can see my sweatpants on TikTok. Let me change.
All right. We're going to get some people in here.
Yeah, and then we'll get things started. Give it a couple minutes, or a minute. Give it a minute or two.
Mm-hmm.
How's your day?
It's been swell. I'm so excited about this little ministry that we've started. I feel like this is how all the great mega church pastors start out, a wig and a dream.
We have a couple people that regularly come to watch this. Not
many.
That's
wonderful.
Not many, but they do.
A good 2 or 3.
Yeah. You look awesome.
Thank you. I did a little video today, and I'm excited to. I was editing it while I had a little time in between.
What video?
I'm starting a new series that I'm excited to upload.
What series?
It's my little makeup tutorials on lithium series, because I put the lit in lithium.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that one, and I was concerned for your well-being. But I've learned that I'm always concerned for your well-being.
Yeah, I like to keep the people on their feet, really just dialing away at the help hotline for me.
The help hotline?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Well, it looks like we've got some people watching. Hi, everybody. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello!
Welcome to Bible Sludy, episode, who knows at this point. My name is Jessica Whor. I am born and raised Catholic, and I escaped.
She tunneled her way out with a spoon.
Yes, but it was a holy spoon.
Yeah.
Of course.
Had a little Mary etched into it.
It did! It really did.
I'm Tiffany Vogue, and I used to go to weekly Bible studies 2 to 3 times a week with my family. And so now we're here.
Really?
Yeah, my parents never had enough time to spend quality time with me, but they always had time for Jesus. In fact, they would lock me and my sister into like some empty nursery room at some empty church on a Wednesday night to just sort of stare at the wall and entertain ourselves for hours at a time while they would hang out with their friends, or they would lock us in some stranger's spare bedroom for hours at a time while they did another Bible study.
Really?
And my sister and I got a lot of quality time together, but my parents and I never really did. So,
yeah, but
like your children, kids, or they'll end up like me.
You and your sister went 2 very different routes in terms of how that Bible Bible study experience went.
Well, the indoctrination was strong. It was strong. So I feel like the only reason I was really able to break out of it is because just being gay. You start to question things. You don't really have a whole lot of reason to question things when, for example, if I was just a heterosexual white male in America, you just don't have the opportunity to question, and there's so much fear behind it that it actually prevents you from doing that.
A lot of the fear.
Yeah. I mean, like from being ostracized from your family and friends, everything like that. Hell, oh my God, hell was a really big fear factor for me. I used to lie in bed every night crying because I thought I was doomed for hell.
I can't wait until we talk about the parts where it's like we should feel guilty for like the commandments, and I can't wait till we talk about like the description of hell. It's gonna be great. I'm really excited for those.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast.
I can't wait to read where everyone says I'm going, so really can visualize it.
Yeah, it's like the pamphlet for Italy that you always dream about. This is that pamphlet for hell that we're gonna sort of get a little.
The pamphlet
I want you to paint a picture for me. Dante's Inferno.
The little brochure here. So here's some options here at hell. We have a lovely lava side view suite. These ones have no plumbing. You just live in shit.
Who would you want to have as your roomie in hell?
Who do I want as you?
Me? Oh my God!
We would have so much fun in hell.
We would.
We really would. We would probably get put to like extra hell. Is that a thing? Like beyond hell?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I feel like your booty hole is already just constantly set ablaze. So I feel like it's not even going to notice the shift in degree.
Oh no, not
from all the Taco Bell that you
literally Taco Bell is what I'm eating right now. We're doing the Bible, and I'm gonna burn this bussy up at the same time.
Is that Taco Bell spicier on the way in, or is it spicier on the way out? Both. Excuse me, I'm gonna give everybody a close-up of my boobs that I paid so much money for while I adjust my ring light, because I just feel like I'm really, really dark. This is that kind of a...
We already got our first couple of great comments.
Somebody wonderful. Said, we haven't even gotten started. Oh, that's so much brighter.
Someone says we're in trouble because only God knows. I know.
Because only God what?
And he cries because of the hate. Anyway, oh God, we'll read these at the end like we like to do, but they're coming in hot. So be prepared.
We're off to a good start today.
For Bible study, if you are tuning in and you are new, me and Tiffany started at the very, very, very beginning of the Bible at Genesis. We're still in Genesis. So we've been going through each chapter, each story, and talking about the literalness of it, the complexities of it. Somebody asked me, are we mocking the Bible? And I'd say, no, we're interpreting it blatantly what we are reading from the text and putting it into its 2023 terms. Like, what does this mean? Tiffany kind of started this idea off, and we've been going through Genesis. You said that there's a lot of other pieces to it too. People are forcing us to read the Bible and say we should know as queer people that we're wrong and we need to read the Bible, and that's always the reason. So we are.
Yep.
I think I'm going to switch Bibles when we switch out of Genesis.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to keep with it. I've been using the Precious Moments Bible, the Small Hands edition, so pretty much for children, which has definitely censored things. And you still got the same Bible too?
Yep, I still got the same one. I like that it's uncensored.
It is.
And it's a big book, so I can actually read the tiny little font with these cataracts I got in my eye.
Do you it's the teenage girl one, correct?
Yes, this is the Bible for teenage girls. That's me.
Do they have a teenage boy Bible, do you think?
I actually, growing up, I had a teenage boy Bible. And it was actually just the New Testament, because Christians really favor the New Testament. And it was actually designed to look like a magazine. What? So it was kind of like in disguise. It was kind of I can't think of the word, but yeah, it was sort of like disguised as a magazine, and it was supposed to be like cool and hip, because back in my day, magazines were cool and hip. We didn't have the tic-tacs and the social medias. And I remember the man on the front, it was designed as like a fitness magazine, and the man on the front was fine, and I loved that Bible.
They really
that
made
Bible was tempting me, honey.
They made a beautiful, sexy man on the front for you to read the Bible and trick you, and the trick is on them.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that Jezebel on the front cover of my teen boy magazine Bible.
So would you say that the Bible was this inappropriate book that you probably shouldn't have had access to because of the attractiveness of the gentleman on the cover?
The Bible is an inappropriate book that I probably shouldn't have had access to for a great many reasons. The same reasons that you keep getting banned on TikTok Live as we're reading word for word.
I keep getting banned, and especially the circumcision chapter really, really messed up my numbers. I hated them.
I just got banned. I had one of my TikToks got a strike on my account just today because I was reading a Bible verse that said the part where Jesus says, hate your brother, hate your sister, hate your father, hate your mother, yes, even hate yourself. And when I said hate all those many times in that Bible verse, I got a strike on my account. And I'm just like, I am a victimized Christian. I am being
Make that make sense as I'm scrolling through TikTok and I see visible VPL, like dicks just swinging around and titties out, but you get flagged for
open with their gray sweatpants flopping around like
I'm
that.
not mad that that's on my feed, but you should have both. You should
have both. Oh my god. I think I'm drinking rust. I think that my ice cubes from my ice machine is rusty. There's all this
drink. Do you want to change it out?
You start the first chapter. I'm gonna go dump the rust out of my glass. So
we ended. Can you remind me where we ended?
We're about to start chapter 24.
Ooh, A Bride for Isaac is the title of mine. Do you have a title for yours?
Isaac and Rebecca.
Is that what it says?
Yep.
Yours says Isaac and Rebecca. Mine says A Bride for Isaac. Okay, 24. Okay. Now Abraham was old, well advanced in age, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. So Abraham said to the oldest servant of the house, who ruled over all that he had, please put your hand under my thigh.
Okay.
And I will make you swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of the earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell. This is sounding very much like, do you want a promotion? As a do you want to succeed in this company?
Mama told me there'd be men like you here in Hollywood, and I was hoping she'd be right.
But you shall go to my country and to my kindred and take a wife for my son Isaac. A lot of taking, not like a, hey, you're gonna go and propose or like find this girl and see if it works out. You're gonna go take one. I understand what that means. I understand. And the servant said to him, perhaps the woman will not be willing to follow me back to this land. Must I take your son back to the land from which you came? But Abraham said to him, beware that you do not take my son back there. The Lord God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my kindred, and who spoke to me and swore to me, saying, to your descendants I give this land. He will send his angel before you, and you shall take a wife for my son from there. And if the woman is not willing to follow you, then you will be released from this oath. Only do not take my son back there. So the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham, his master, and swore to him concerning this matter. Then the servant took 10 of his master's camels and departed. For all his master's goods were in his hand, and he arose and went to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nahor. Why did he take 10 camels?
He probably couldn't get an Uber. I don't know.
It just, when they throw in, we talked about this earlier, that we have read chapters where it speeds up time over what seems like thousands of years based off of the stamp that we get with no detail of what happens. But then we get to a chapter like this. Why is it necessary to know that 10 camels were taken?
Maybe because the author of this book hadn't taken the master class on how to write in like a very informative and creative way. And it was just a Bronze Age layman person just trying to do his darn best.
It just seems like a weird detail to throw in. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but
maybe he really liked camels.
Well, let's find out. Maybe I'm getting too ahead of myself.
He probably only knew of like 6 earthly animals, so
at this point. Okay, and he made his camels kneel down outside the city by a well of water at evening time, the time when women go out to draw water. Then he said, O Lord God of my master Abraham, please give me success this day and show kindness to my master Abraham. Behold, I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. Now let it be that the young women to whom I say, please let down your pitcher that I may drink. And she says, drink, and I will also give your camels a drink.
Sounds like Isaac is thirsty.
He's thirsty, but it sounds like he could have just gotten the water himself if he was next to the well.
Well, yeah, but he wants to know which one of these women is going to be the most devout in the kitchen.
I guess that's true. Let her be the one whom you have appointed your servant, Isaac. They don't talk about women very nicely. And by this I will know that you have shown kindness to my master. And it happened before he had finished speaking that, behold, Rebekah, who was born to Bethuel, son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, came out with her pitcher on her shoulders. Now the young woman was very beautiful to behold, a virgin. No man had known her. And she went down to the well, filled her pitcher, and came up. And the servant ran to meet her and said, please let me drink a little water from your pitcher. So she said, drink, my lord. Then she hastened and let her pitcher down to her hand and gave him a drink. And when she had finished giving him a drink, she said, I will draw water for your camels also, until they have finished drinking. They can drink a lot. 10 camels can drink a lot. That's a lot of hand-holding water. Like, drink, camel. Like, this much water for 10 camels?
Yeah.
Until they're full? That's a lot of water.
Well, she's dedicated. She's passionate about her job.
They were at the well for hours, is what it seems like. And when she had finished giving him a drink, they gave him the camels. She had hastened and emptied her pitcher into the trough. Oh, that makes sense. Ran back to the well to draw water and drew for all the camels. And the man, wondering at her, remained silent as to know whether the Lord had made this journey prosperous or not. So it was, when the camels had finished drinking, that the man took a golden nose ring weighing half a shekel. How much does a shekel weigh?
I usually make about 12 shekels at brunch, but they hurt when they throw them.
Shekel is money, but half a shekel. This nose ring weighing half a shekel, and 2 bracelets for her wrists weighing 10 shekels of gold. And said, I guess that's how they valued it. I understand that. And said, whose daughter are you? Tell me, please. Is there room in your father's house for us to lodge? So she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, Milcah's son, who she bore to Nahor. Moreover, she said to him, we have both straw and feed enough, and room to lodge. Then the man bowed down his head and worshipped the Lord. And he said, blessed be the Lord God of my master Abraham, who have not forsaken his mercy and his truth. I'm really spitty today. And his truth towards my master. As for me, being on the way, the Lord led me to the house of my master's brethren. So the young woman ran and told those of her mother's house these things. Now Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban, and Laban ran out to the man by the well. So it came to pass when he saw the nose ring and the bracelets on his sister's wrists, and when he heard the words of his sister Rebekah saying, thus the man spoke to me, that he went to the man, and there he stood by the camels at the well. And he said, come in, O blessed of the Lord. Why do you stand outside? For I have prepared the house and a place for the camels. Then the man came to the house, and he unloaded the camels and provided straw and feed for the camels. and water to wash his feet and the feet of the men who were with him. And food was set before him to eat, but he said, I will not eat until I have told about my errand. And he said, speak on. So he said, I am Abraham's servant. The Lord has blessed my master greatly, and he has become great. And he has given him flocks and herds, silver and gold, male and female servants, and camels and donkeys. It's a lot. And Sarah, my master's wife, bore a son to my master when she was old, and to him he was given all that he has. Now my master made me swear, saying, you shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell.
See, this is why good hospitality is dangerous. You invite this stranger into your home and he gives you his whole life story. Like, honey, we've already given you so much. We gave you a place to stay. We're feeding your camels. And now you want to borrow all of our time to hear about your great-grandma's life story?
Literally was like, hey, we gave you everything. I'm blessed and giving you all of this. And now you're taking advantage of it.
Well...
Now my master made me swear, saying, you shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell. But you shall go to my father's house and to my kindred, and take a wife for my son. And I said to my master, perhaps the woman will not follow me. But he said to me, the Lord before whom I walk will send his angel with you and prosper your way. And you shall take a wife for my son from the kindred and from my father's house. You will be clear from his oath when you arrive among my kindred. For if they will not give her to you, then you will be released from my oath. And this day I came to the well and said, O Lord God of my master Abraham, if you now prosper the way I which I go, behold, I stand by the well of the water. Yes, we know where you all are. There's a well. Keep bringing up this damn well. And it shall come to pass that when the virgin comes out to draw water, I will say to her, please give me a little water from your pitcher to drink. I thought we were past this. I thought that they already came out and did this. I thought this already happened. Is he explaining this? Like, is it happening again? And he says, and she says to me, drink, and I will draw for your camels also. Let her be the woman whom the Lord has appointed for my master's son. Didn't this already happen? Didn't they already feed the camels? Or is this a new person?
It seems to me that he sat down and he's at their house and he's like, listen, guys, this is my parents' story. This is why I'm special. Also, God spoke to me and he told me that I was going to come to this town and I was going to, ask a woman to water me. And if she watered me and she watered my camels, then she would be mine. And here I am sitting with all of you. And Rebecca, sure enough, came on out and she watered me and she watered my camels.
Yes.
So he's doing a recap and explaining to him why she is owed to him through God. And I hate that. It happens all the time, even today in the church, especially in like the youth groups, where teenage boys will come up to teenage girls and be like, hey, God spoke to me and he has told me that you've been promised to me. And it's not my idea that we should be dating, but he told me, he spoke to me, and you and I are going to get married. And then the teenage girl buys it almost every time.
God came to me and said, hey, I'm supposed to give you the shocker.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand though. He's giving a recap about why Rebecca's the one. Is what you're saying, correct?
That's what it seems to me. But then again, I have a very short attention span.
But before I had finished speaking in my heart, there was Rebecca coming out with her pitcher on her shoulder, and she went down to the well and drew water. And I said to her, please let me drink. And she made haste and let her pitcher down from her shoulder and said, drink, and I will give your camels a drink also. So I drank, and she gave the camels a drink also.
Since Christians like to decide that like this is just an allegory for something completely unrelated, I think that I'm going to decide that this well drinking is an allegory.
The thing is, you could have easily taken this much out of this page and just said, Rebecca came out and fed me and my camels. At this point, I don't know who has been fed what in what. I thought he was recapping, but now it seems like it's happening again.
It is an unnecessarily long chapter, but look at all these blank pages he had to fill. So, I mean, honestly, he's trying to buy up some time.
Then I asked her and said, whose daughter are you? And she said, the daughter of Bethuel, Whor's son, whom Milcah bore to him. So I put the nose ring on her nose and the bracelets on her wrists. This is like...
It is a word for word recap.
Well, what I'm saying is, it's like the sign of giving her a nose ring and like bracelets is very much like, I own you.
Indentured servitude.
At that point, like, now that this is on your body, you are owed to me.
Here's a collar and some cuffs.
Yeah, very much.
Remember at the end of Aladdin how Genie goes like this?
That's what I was thinking. I literally was imagining the genie with a nose ring.
Well, I don't think he has a nose ring, but he's got the cuffs.
No, I know he doesn't. That's why I was imagining him with a nose ring.
Right.
And I bowed my head and worshipped the Lord and blessed the Lord God of my master Abraham, who had led me in the way of truth to take the daughter of my master's brother for his son. Now, if you will deal kindly and truly with my master, tell me, and if not, tell me, that I may turn to the right hand or to the left. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, the thing comes from the Lord. We cannot speak to you either bad or good. Here is Rebecca before you. Take her and go, and let her be your master's son's wife, as the Lord has spoken. And it came to pass, when Abraham's servant heard their words, that he worshipped the Lord, bowing himself to the earth. Then the servant brought out jewelry of silver, jewelry of gold, and clothing, and gave them to Rebecca. Ooh, they gave her a upgrade. We're gonna give you this gold jewelry, the silver jewelry, some new clothes. What is this, like the what not to wear fashion where they here's what she looked like before, here's like what she looked like after.
You think that they had gay stylists back then in the Bronze Age?
Well, yeah, they were all wearing dresses.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty. Everybody was wearing robes and dresses and flowy things and jewelry and headpieces and shit like that. Yeah, there had to be some queer influence.
Sure.
Then the servant brought out, oh yeah, we did that. He also gave precious things to her brother and to her mother, so the family is benefiting as well. And,
yeah.
And he and the men who were with him ate and drank and stayed all night. Then they arose in the morning, and he said, send me away to my master. But her brother and her mother said, let the young woman stay with us a few days, at least 10. That's not a few days. A few days is 3 days. A few days, at least 10 days. After that, she may go. And he said to them, do not hinder me, since the Lord has prospered my way. Send me away so that I may go to my master. So they said, we will call the young woman and ask her personally. Beep, 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 beep. She's on speed dial. Then they called Rebecca and said to her, will you go with this man? And she said, I will go. So they sent away Rebecca, their sister, and her nurse. Where did the nurse come from? And Abraham's servant and his men. And they blessed Rebecca and said to her, O sister, may you become the mother of thousands, of 10,000s, and may your descendants possess the gate of those who hate them. Then Rebekah and her maids arose, and they rode on the camels and followed the man. So the servant took Rebekah and departed.
If Rebekah's got all these maids and nurses and whatnot, how come she's going down to the well to get the water?
Thank you. Thank you. That I was just thinking that. I'm like, well, you have all these people.
But you're the well girl.
But your job is the well girl. But are these is this new? Are these servants new? Is this now that she's married? She no longer has to get water.
I have no idea.
Didn't you hear? She had to feed the camels and she had to feed him.
She was a working girl.
With a whole bunch of water. You didn't hear that, right? You know, they only said it 8 times. Now Isaac came from the way of Beer Lahai Roy, for he dwelt in the south. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field in the evening, and he lifted his eyes and looked, and there the camels were coming. Then Rebekah lifted her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she dismounted from her camel, for she had said to the servant, "Who is this man walking in the field to meet us?" And the servant said, "It is my master." So she took a veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. Then Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, and he took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. So Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. That's such a weird stepping stone. Hey, now she's my wife, and now when my mom dies, I have someone to lean on.
Yeah, somebody to have in the kitchen come Thanksgiving.
Next week.
Yeah, well, that was a long-ass chapter.
Long, and it could have been much shorter. Like I said, the whole back and forth, let's go to the well, camel thing, and it was all the same.
But now you know why they mentioned the camels. The camels were a very important part of the story.
They weren't, though.
It's how you pick a wife, apparently.
Oh, how you pick a wife? Okay.
Yeah, you need at least 9 camels to pick a wife.
No, you need 10. Just a few camels. Just a few camels. You need 10 camels.
I'm coming to visit you for just a few days.
Oh, like I hope it's 10 days.
All right, here we go.
We have Abraham and Keturah.
What does yours say? The chapter of 25?
Abraham and Keturah.
Mine says the death of Abraham.
Wow. Definitely a spoiler alert.
Yup. Here we go. Chapter 25. Everybody grab your goldfish crackers and your Kool-Aid. Time for some Bible stories. Abraham had taken another wife whose name was Keturah because Sarah died, remember? I don't know why he didn't take the wife of his stepchild, Hagar. What happened to Hagar? Is she not considered like worthy enough wife material, even though she was worthy enough to bear one of your children? Why are you going to be running out on her too? It seems like a convenient situation.
I thought there was some kind of rule about not having multiple wives.
Well, they just play around with that every which way. She bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shuha. Okay, now Abraham was, he was over 100 years old when his wife died. So now this 100-year-old man who was just laughing his ass off about procreating with his 80-plus-year-old wife, and now he's still doing the nasty with probably a much, much younger woman than his original wife. Because he was laughing about how old Sarah was and how he was never going to be able to have any kids with her. So this 100-plus-year-old man is doing the nasty with some young woman who was probably not even conceived when he was like in his middle age. Anyway.
Well, he's got to be fertile too because he pumped up how many kids? Like, was that 5 kids?
Yeah, 5 kids, and he's over 100 years old.
So he's really getting it. He must have some mega ultra godlike sperm.
Yeah. Jokshan was the father of Sheba and Dedan. The descendants of Dedan were the Ashturites and the Lettishites and the Leumenites The sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Elda. All these were descendants of Keturah. Abraham left everything he owned to Isaac. But while he was still living, he gave gifts to the son of his concubines and sent them away from his son Isaac to the land of the east. Abraham lived 175 years. Then Abraham breathed his last and died at a good old age, an old man and full of years, and he was gathered to his people. His son Isaac and
175?
Yes, 175.
Did we read that chapter wrong earlier when it was 121? Did we read that incorrect? Because
I want to highlight it. I want to go back and read it every time we hear about somebody.
It was so specific where he was like, I got to cut this off.
I know. I wish that, because I had a Bible highlighter and it would have been so convenient to be able to look back at that. Yeah, because the Bible highlighters, they don't stain through the page. They're real fancy. They're like crayons.
Well, anyway, that existed.
It definitely said his days shall be no more, because he was complaining about Moses, and it was actually right after the flood.
I feel like I remember that so specifically, and I get kind of irritated every single time because I thought there was a cutoff, an age cutoff.
I did too. It was. Oh, this is going to drive me insane. I have to look it up now. I want to be able to pull back and reference it.
It's crazy that we're not that far along, and it feels impossible to find that statement.
I mean, it was 120. It was just 120, right? That was the number.
It's like 121 or something like that, wasn't it? Was it during the fall of man?
It should be pretty easy to find because the numbers are pretty. They stand out a bit. 120 something. I just want to be able to know what that. I probably could have Googled it by now and found it. I'm probably going about this all the wrong way. Anyway, I'm gonna have to give up on this here in just a moment.
We can find it for the next one, but I want to revisit that.
Yeah,
because if I read it wrong, then I'll be less irritated. But I thought I read it pretty clear.
So he was 175 years old. Then Abraham breathed his last and died at a good old age, an old man and full of years, and he was gathered to his people. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah near Mamre, in the field of Ephron, son of Zohar the Hittite. The field Abraham had bought from the Hittites, there Abraham was buried with his wife Sarah. After Abram's death, God blessed his son Isaac, who then lived near Beer Lahai-roi. This is the account of the family line of Abraham's son Ishmael, whom Sarah's slave Hagar, the Egyptian, bore to Abraham. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael listed in the order of their birth. Nebaioth, the firstborn of Ishmael, Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Masa, Hadad, Tima, Jetar, Jephish, and Kedema. Can we also just emphasize how the Bible likes to place emphasis on the firstborn? It's definitely not a book that claims that all people are created equal. It's definitely saying men are more important than women and firstborns are more important than all the other siblings.
Yes. And also, not to knock anybody's names, but some of these sound like depression medications.
Yeah, I was prescribed some DMA. I'm on the DMA. I'm on double dose of DMA.
Oh, I just started a DB. I understand names are very different, but we go from like Rebecca and Sarah, and then I'm reading names like this, and it's just some of them are really pretty and some of them are interesting, but some of them also I'm just like are tongue twisters and make me feel like they're medication.
Everybody at the club last night was doing ketamine.
See? And they probably were.
These were the son of Ishmael, and these are the names of the 12 tribal rulers according to their settlements and camps. Camp, queen, go off!
Go off.
Ishmael lived 137 years. Another one. He breathed his last and died and was gathered to his people. His descendants settled in the area from Hivala to Shur, near the eastern border of Egypt, as you go toward Ashur, and they lived in hostility towards all the tribes related to them. This is the account of the family line of Abraham's son Isaac. Abraham became the father of Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean, and the Aramean from Padan Aram, and sister of Laban and Aramean. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was childless. The Lord answered his prayer, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant. The babies jostle each other within her, and she said, "Why is this happening to me?" So she went to inquire of the Lord. How does God miraculously intervene with something like that? Like, where does the thread break in between the supernatural and the natural?
You know, we've been talking about that on many instances, like how God chooses to intervene or show up.
Yeah, but like, does he physically reach hands into her womb and like untie her tubes? Or does he snap his fingers and like something in her body magically
like
just
makes
like
it so
blips?
like snap?
Yeah, it just, how does it happen? Can we see it?
No.
Is it all natural?
No.
Does it just happen the way that it would have happened without a God?
Doesn't sound natural. I don't know.
The Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and the 2 people. Have you ever had 2 nations in your womb before? Because you got to try it. It's a bucket list thing.
You should try 6. I've had 6 nations in my womb.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What a dumpster you are.
Hey. I'm a respectable dumpster. Very popular.
One people will be stronger than the other, and the other will serve the younger. When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. The first to come out was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment. The baby was hairy? She gave birth to like a Wookiee?
Also, what? That was such an interesting detail to let us know.
Yeah, she gave birth to a goat.
Gave birth to a really hairy baby.
So they named him Eshua. After this, his brother came out with his hand grasping.
Hold on. Just think about this way that it's written. It's like, so this baby came out real hairy. So, okay, they had to call it this. Like, it was like a reasoning. Like, this name was chosen because the baby was hairy.
Yeshua might mean like hairy or something.
Good. That's a good point.
It could be that. After this, his brother came out with his hand grasping Yeshua's heel. So he was named Jacob. And Jacob probably means grasping your brother's heel on the way out of the womb.
That's what.
Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them. The boys grew up. You know, if you have children after the age of 50, I think that your odds of a birth defect go up by like 90%.
Well, one was hairy. I don't think that's a defect, but we don't know how hairy.
Like circus hairy?
Like you said, like Wookiee, Ewok.
She said like a hairy garment. So that's on a baby. That's concerning, honey. That is concerning. The boys grew up, and Yeshua became a skillful hunter. A man, probably because he was constantly camouflaged with all the fur. A man of the open country, while Jacob was content to stay at home amongst the tents. Me too, Jacob. I'm a homebody. I don't want to be outside. There's allergies outside. There's too much nature out there.
So one was in charge of hunting, and the other one stayed home and knitted.
I resonate with Jacob. Jacob was content to stay at home amongst the tents because there's air conditioning. Isaac, who had a taste for the wild game, loved Yeshua. What? Oh, Isaac's the father. Okay. Loved him with a fatherly love. I thought we were getting a queer love story, but I was wrong. But Rebecca loved Jacob. Okay, so the parents are playing favorites just like God does. Once, when Jacob was cooking some stew, Yeshua came in from the open country, famished. He said to Jacob, "Quick, let me have some of that red stew. I'm famished." That is why he was also called Edom, because Edom means constantly famished or something. Jacob replied, "First, sell me your birthright." Okay, so there's that birthright. Yeah, so the firstborn of the biblical time people, the firstborns get everything, and the rest of the siblings get nothing in the will. That's their inheritance. The firstborns get everything.
So sell me your firstborn.
Yeah, because the firstborns are inherently more valuable than any of the other siblings because not all people are created equal.
Couldn't you just lie? If I go to a different town and like, hey, are you a firstborn? You're like, oh, absolutely.
Well, the parents know. They could tell that the hairy baby was the one that came out first. And that's why I think they were placing emphasis on the fact that Jacob was like grabbing onto his heel. That means he was second, right? So Jacob replied, "First, sell me your birthright. So sell me all of your inheritance for this bowl of soup." Good soup.
Minestrone.
Minestrone. I would sell my birthright to not have to drink minestrone.
Oh, I would sell my birthright for cream of potato or zuppa toscana.
Oh, the chicken gnocchi. Oh.
You like chicken gnocchi?
Yeah, it's thick and creamy. I can't have it anymore because I don't eat meat or dairy.
You can have fake chicken gnocchi.
Yeah, I'll make a vegan one. Look, I'm about to die, Yeshua said. What? How dramatic!
How dramatic!
I'm famished. I'm about to die. I'll give my left nutsack for that soup.
They already did. Didn't they get all the circle? I'll give you my foreskin if you.
I'm not doing anything with it anyway. Yeshua said, "I'm about to die. What good is the birthright to me?" Yeshua's dumb as a brick. He does not have a whole lot of foresight or any foreskin. Yeah. But Jacob said, "Swear to me first." So he swore an oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob for this bowl of soup. Then Jacob gave Yeshua some bread and some lentil stew. Hey, you know what? No big deal. Jacob is a businessman.
Yeah.
And Yeshua is just clearly a jock without a brain. He ate and drank and then got up and left. So Yeshua despised his birthright. Well, that was chapter 25, the death of Abraham.
Over a stew.
Over a stew. What would you sell your birthright for?
I told you, zuppa toscana, cream of potato.
Yeah.
Is there a certain soup that you would sell yours for?
I don't think I'd do it for a soup. I think I would do it for real estate. In this economy,
I want property.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay, this next one is 26. Isaac and Abimelech.
Isaac and Abimelech.
There was a famine in the land besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines. I had a demon come through me. Abimelech, king of the Philistines in Gerar. Then the Lord appeared to him and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Dwell in the land of which I shall tell you. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with you and bless you for you and your descendants. And I give all these lands, and I will perform the oath which I swore to Abraham your father. And I will make your descendants multiply as the stars of heavens. I will give to your descendants all these lands, and in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. Because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws." So Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him about his wife, and he said, "She is my sister." What? Let me reread this to make sure I read this correctly. And the men of the place asked him about his wife. And he said, "She is my sister."
Because he was afraid to say.
Because he was afraid to say, "She is my wife." Because he thought, lest the men of the place should kill me for Rebecca, because she is beautiful to behold. Why does that make it better?
Because then his ass is spared. He doesn't care if the men of the city come and gangbang his wife. He cares that they'll kill him before they do it. He wants to make sure that everybody in town knows that Rebecca is free and clear to be taken advantage of, as long as his hands are clean of it. So he's not going to be a man and stand up and protect his wife.
No.
He's just going to say, "Hey guys, look at my hot sister."
Gross.
Anybody want a lick?
I tried that once with one of my sisters. It did not go well.
You do what?
I asked people if they wanted to lick my hot sister.
Oh, am I your hot sister?
No. No.
Okay.
You're my most special sister.
Mama says I'm special.
You are my most favorite and special sister.
Oh God.
You exude beauty that can't be described.
Or seen.
Or seen. Unless you put that mask on from Star Wars. That one really gets me. Anyway, now it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked through a window and saw, and there was Isaac showing endearment to Rebekah his wife. Then Abimelech called Isaac and said, "Quite obviously she is your wife, so how could you say, 'She is my sister'?" And Isaac said to him, "Because I said, lest I die on account of her." And Abimelech said, What is this you have done to us? One of the people, oh God, one of the people might soon have lain, goddamn. One of the people might soon have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt on us. So Abimelech charged all his people, saying, "He who touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." Then Isaac sowed in the land and reaped in the same year in 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. Then the man began to prosper and to continue prospering until he became very prosperous. For he had possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and a great number of servants, so the Philistines envied him. God damn. Now the Philistines had stopped up all the wells which his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham and father, and they had filled them with earth. And Abimelech said to Isaac, "Go away from us. You are much mightier than we." Then Isaac departed from there and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac dug again the wells of the water which they had dug in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them up after the death of Abraham. He called them by the names which his father had called them, and Isaac's servants dug in the valley and found a well of running water there. But the herdsmen of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, "This water is ours." So he called the name of the well Essex, because that's what that means. The water's theirs. Because they quarreled with him. Then they dug another well, and they quarreled over that one also. So he called its name Sitnah, and he moved from there and dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called its name Rehoboth, because he said, "For now the Lord has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land." Then he went up from there to Beersheba, and the Lord appeared to him in the same night and said, "I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not fear, For I am with you. I will bless you and multiply your descendants for my servant Abraham's sake. The promise to like make people bear a lot of children is so crazy to me. Like that's a perk. Please do this. Please do this. I promise I will make sure your descendants are successful. Your descendants are great. Your descendants are like there's so many of you. You're gonna have so many kids.
Who gives a crap if you have so many kids if you're gonna pick a favorite one anyway?
Yeah, the first
you
one.
You really just need one.
So he built an altar. He built an altar there and called on it the name of the Lord and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants dug a well. Then Abimelech came to him from Gerar and Azuzath, one of his friends.
Are you having a stroke?
Azuzath.
Where's the strangest place you've ever pitched your tent?
Funeral.
Funeral. Was the person you pitched with alive?
Oh, I didn't pitch it with. I pitched at the funeral, and I was like, "Why is this happening?" I was concerned for a little bit.
Oh my god, your dick got rigor mortis.
Hey, it likes what it likes, but apparently it was a bad timing. Then Abimelech came to him from Gerar and Azuzath, one of his friends, and Pichol, the commander of his army. And Isaac said to them, "Why have you come to me, since you hate me and have sent me away from you?" But they said, "We have certainly seen that the Lord is with you." So we said, "Let there now be an oath between us, between you and us, and let us make a covenant with you." The last covenant that was made was the circumcision covenant. So they better clarify that you will do us no harm, since we have not touched you, and since we have done nothing to you but good, and have sent you away in peace. You are now the blessed of the Lord. So he made up a feast, and they ate and drank, and they arose early in the mornings and swore an oath with one another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. It came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him about the well which he had dug, and said to him, "We have found water." So he called Sheba, therefore the name of the city, in Beersheba to this day. When Esau No. When Esau was 40 years old, he took as wife Judith, the daughters of Beri and Hitti,
Judith Iscariot,
and Basemath, and Doug, and the daughter of Elon and Hittiti.
I'm just a holy fool, baby. It's so cruel, but I'm still alive to Judith.
I'm still in love with Hittiti, baby. And they were a grief of mine to Isaac and Rebekah. Oh my God, that was so hard to read.
You did it! You did it! Oh, I always close the book before I put the bookmark in. I do that every time.
And then we end on... Oh shit, where did we end? Oh yeah.
We finished 27.
We finished 26. We're on 27.
27. Perfect.
Wow, those were some interesting pieces.
Yeah, we got a couple good things there. A couple interesting little stories.
Let's go through some comments really quick. There is a slut version of the Bible, apparently.
Oh.
Somebody said, "Oh my God, Jessica Whor."
Jessica Whor.
Somebody that said a legitimate reason to take 10 camels, no Uber, of course. The shocker. Someone said that you are so pretty.
They're right.
It's true. And then TikTok was a little crazier. We got, I made it just in time for Bible Sludy. No one should tell you where you're going because only God knows. Can't get enough of that red sauce. God knows I think you're in trouble. Just know Jesus loves you. He cries because of the hate. I'm coming in with love. You have free will. My brother had the teenage boy Bible.
Oh, that's fun.
Someone's going to translate a non-binary version of the Bible. We love a blasphemous queen.
Yes, I am doing blasphemy.
The chat is real. Remember when the white men founded nations? Are you a Christian? Failed society.
I love our fans.
This one says, next, if we were making fun of the Bible, it's different stories. We're not making fun of it, we're reading it verbatim. Someone called you mom.
If I look like your mother, I got some questions.
You're a cougar. Okay, those are our comments for today. What a great Bible Sludy.
Work. Well, what do you think? What was your overall opinion of today's chapters? Any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are you don't need to tell me 8 times that you need to feed this man and the camels water. And also a few is not 10. A few is 3. A few is 3, not 10. And you need a few days, or do you need 10 days? Don't say a few days, which is 10 days. Don't do that. What about you?
That's an excellent point. I would say don't talk to strangers because they might come over to your house, take all your food, and steal your sister into servitude.
That's what you did to me.
Yeah. That's true. That's how we met. You visited a stranger across the country.
I mean,
I could have killed you.
Technically, we met because I visited a stranger that fucked me.
In Colorado Springs?
Yes.
That's true. Yeah, Jessica has to get her eggplant imported.
Yes,
it's
only the
more
finest.
Exotic and delicious that way if you have to journey for it.
If you put in the work like they do in Lord of the Rings, it's well worth it, you know? You get to enjoy their Eye of Mordor.
Oh, God. Oh, my goodness.
Well, folks, join us for Bible Sludy every single Saturday around 4. And follow me and Tiffany on social media. If you enjoyed our commentary, please give us a good old Venmo below. They're listed on the screen. Any final thoughts, Tiff?
I never had a first thought, but
perfect. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.